This view of the Pomac forest may have changed little over centuries. The forest stretches to the horizon, and rising out of it, these imposing hills. Except these huge mounds are not natural features of the landscape, but man-made. Relics of a sophisticated ancient civilization, the Mochica. Even today, this ancient civilization continues to be unveiled by the passage of time and the extreme weather events which have shaped its destiny.
The El Niño phenomenon hit the ancient inhabitants of these lands just as much as it's impacting on modern-day Peruvians. Archaeologists say that huge weather events such as mega El Niños ended civilizations like this.
Peru's recent rains, for many the heaviest in living memory, have left their mark on these mud brick pyramids, known locally as huacas. But these monuments, many more than 30 meters in height, also bear the fissures and crevasses left by past El Niños. Like archaic skyscrapers, they were once home to the elite. Each generation built a new level, entombing the homes of their predecessors beneath. They've stood the test of time because of where they were built, says Walter Alva, the archaeologist who has made Peru's most spectacular finds of recent decades.
Los grandes complejos arquitectónicos, los templos, estaban sabiamente construidos en lugares que no son susceptibles de ser destruidos por huaicos o por quebradas. En lo que los arqueólogos llamamos patrón de asentamiento en la antigüedad, estaba muy bien, muy inteligentemente planteado. Los antiguos peruanos siempre construían en lugares que no podían ser afectados por los cauces de la lluvia, y por eso sobreviven hasta hoy nuestros monumentos, ¿no? Entonces, cuando llegan los europeos, imponen aquí un patrón que significa construir las ciudades a la de los ríos. Y eso ha sido fatal, porque todas las ciudades de la costa peruana están construidas en lugares que tarde o temprano van a verse afectados por estos cambios o estas lluvias catastróficas.
Unfortunately, many modern-day Peruvians have not followed the example set by their ancestors. Nearly 500,000 Peruvians live on floodplains, and tens of thousands more lost their homes to overflowing rivers in coastal cities and towns. The cost of the recovery will run into the billions of dollars and take several years.
La gente que ha sufrido los fenómenos va a tomar conciencia de que está ocupando un lugar que es el camino de la naturaleza. Y tomarán también los gobiernos y municipalidades conciencia que no pueden permitir que se construyan estas quebradas, porque es exponer a esta población, que es generalmente la más pobre, a sufrir estos embates de la naturaleza.
The El Niño phenomenon has literally shaped the landscape here on what is usually a sweltering desert plain. Set between the Andes Mountains and the Pacific Ocean, the rains have brought new life to this forest. But the rains also swelled this river, which threatened to wash away potentially undiscovered tombs. Modesto Benitez is the guardian of this historical sanctuary. He's lived here his whole life.
Cada vez que hay abundancia como el Niño, el agua más se carga hacia las huacas y corre peligro pues que se lleve la pirámide, ¿no? Como ustedes ven,
Benitez remembers when the course of this river, La Leche, was completely different. Now he's worried about losing burial chambers, which typically surround these pyramids.
Wow,
You know?
that's quite marvelous, that object. Where was this found?
Well, it was found close to the Huaca de las Ventanas, quite important archaeological sites along with the La Leche River. It was part of the rescue archaeology close to this area. This vessel almost was lost forever because the presence of the Niño, it happened during the year 1998.
So this was found in the river?
Close to the, exactly, in the river
So
shores, no?
So every time there's an El Niño, what happens to to these archaeological sites?
Well, it's a pity. Unfortunately, thousands and thousands of objects are lost for this natural phenomenon each 10 or 20 years, you know.
What can be done about that to prevent these objects from being lost forever?
Well, right now we have a Peruvian law for implementing a big project under a multidisciplinary focus. One of the main aims is to build, in this case, riverine defense, including also emergency archaeology or rescue archaeology in the riverbed, which is archaeological too. Remember that the Poma Forest was the main political, religious, and economical center of the Sican or Lambayeque civilization. And you can see very big ceremonial centers along with cemeteries, in this case metallurgical workshops, ceramic workshops. It's in a very interesting, extended area, almost unknown in Andean archaeology.
Is there much more to be discovered?
For sure. We need many field seasons in the area, but right now our main concern is El Niño, which destroyed all the time important archaeological data in the area.
The discovery of a complete and unplundered royal tomb exactly 30 years ago was one of the world's most extraordinary ancient finds. Walter Alva and his team found intricate artifacts made of gold and copper, along with pottery, all part of the elaborate burial of an important leader, the Lord of Sipan.
En 1987 nos tocó la suerte de salvar del saqueo y la destrucción uno de los monumentos arqueológicos más importantes de la cultura mochica en el norte del Perú, donde se logró recuperar y salvar la tumba intacta de un gobernante de la cultura mochica que se llamaba el señor de Zipán, considerada hoy la tumba más rica excavada científicamente. Esta tumba da lugar a un museo y hoy este museo es uno de los más visitados del Perú.
Due to the recent natural disaster, National Museum visits have dropped away by some 80%, Alva said. As the tourism recovers, steps are being taken to protect the monuments and other potential discoveries for posterity. The Lord of Sipan tomb was discovered here at the foot of the Huaca Rajada pyramid.
Here at Sipan, the iconic discovery made by Walter Alva 30 years ago, archaeologists have thought ahead, installing a simple yet effective system of drainage, which has protected these 1,000-year-old royal tombs from the worst of the rains.
Dating back 1,000 years before the Incas, the treasures left by this civilization have inspired wonder. By piecing together the royal regalia, instruments and other clues, archaeologists have tried to evoke the reverence towards this ruler, who may have been seen as a demigod. The models are based on local people living today in this land shaped by the destructive El Niño phenomenon.
Los arqueólogos, cuando investigamos, verificamos que en muchos monumentos arqueológicos hay cicatrices indelebles de que ha pasado o han sido afectadas por fenómenos de lluvias. Los sedimentos, la erosión de los monumentos nos permiten identificar y más o menos aproximarnos a las fechas probables. Considero que en gran parte el colapso de la sociedad mochica se debió a un gran niño.
By learning about the past, archaeologists may be able to transmit age-old lessons about how to build a future alongside El Niño.